World of Tank Blitz, Armour Pants here. Hey ho campers, another video for you tonight. This one is the Type 62, the Dragon, which is available in the shops right now, so let's have a look at it, shall we? Let's go and have a look at the tech stuff, because you know you nerds, you like your tech shit, don't you? Anyways, so, by the way, just back from my travels, I was travelling again, and you know I have a pet hate, which is aqua aerobics and people involved in it. I now have a new pet hate. Well, it's actually a pet hate I've always had, but this is just reinforced in my recent travels. People who wear backpacks in crowded spaces, they should be taken out and summarily executed. Without mercy, just executed on the spot. If you're in a crowded bus, why the fuck do you have to have your backpack on? Take it off, don't be an ignorant cunt. Alright, that's the end of this political and personal broadcast. Alright, so let's have a look at the tank, because we digressed there a bit, didn't we? So, as I said, this tank is available in the shop. This, by the way, is a fucking great tank. I love it. It is just brilliant, and you won't regret. You won't regret it. I have to say, you won't regret playing with it at all. The one caveat, of course, being that you have to like playing light, medium, or medium tanks. If you don't like those, if you like tank destroyers or heavies, then don't bother getting this, because you know you'll regret it. But if you like playing light tanks or medium tanks, then this tank is for you. It is a bit expensive, but of all the tanks that are available in the shop now, this is the one I would recommend, because it is just brilliant fun, and you certainly won't regret it. It has an 85mm gun, but it does have good pen, and if you go up to heat, it won't let you down. It has a great rate of fire, and the tank is just so manoeuvrable. It's so much fun. It is brilliant at spotting, brilliant at peekaboo, brilliant at circle of death, brilliant at brawling. It's quite low. Its turret will bounce some shots for you. So overall, the tank is just great. I mean, obviously, you don't get into face hugging a heavy. Don't let yourself get rammed, etc. But if you follow those few golden rules, and if you're familiar and like tank driving, then you will definitely enjoy this tank, because it is fucking great fun. I mean, if this tank were in Washington, it would be cocaine and prostitutes and probably have one of the Kennedys thrown in. That's how good a story it is. It's just brilliant. Now, as you can see here, I got fuck all armor. It's an origami tank, which is quite apt really, because it is also from Asia. So don't try to bounce shots on it. Just assume you're going to get penetrated by everything. You're like an Essex girl who's already drunk and arrives at the Bacardi Breezer promotion. She is definitely going to get penetrated by everything, and this tank is like that. It is the on-tracks equivalent of that Essex girls. Now, having said that, the turret will surprise you and bounce some shots for you. Also, it's so fast that you'll bounce shots because the aiming time on other tanks hasn't been set properly. So it will bounce, but just assume it's not going to bounce, and then everything's a bonus, isn't it? Yeah, you know, so it's just fantastic, isn't it? If you always assume the worst, then the worst you can get is what you assume. Yeah, there you go. Which is how we ended up with Trump and Brexit, I think. But there you go, I digress. So the tank will just get penetrated, but it is a brilliant tank nonetheless, and it will surprise you with bounces. And just utilise that speed, utilise the gun, and the turret will help you out occasionally as well. Now let's have a look at some gameplay. As you can see, by the way, it's also a fucking great looking tank, isn't it? It's, you know, it's just, it looks like, I don't know, sexual chocolate. It just looks fucking great. The camo on it is brilliant. The Wargame has done a brilliant job in setting the camo. You know, it just really suits the tank. I did a video before we called the tank with Dragon Tattoo, but yeah, which wasn't really, you know, yeah, that was actually quite good, actually, wasn't it? Yeah, it wasn't so bad. But yeah, so what I'm doing here now is I just decided to go right, because unless I'm in a tank destroyer, I don't really like going left. In fact, I don't really like going left at all. I always get smashed when I go that way. I don't know why. But then, you know, I'm not a brilliant player anyway, so I decided I'm in a light tank, right. I'm always going to go right. And see if I can spot somebody up. See if I can get a few shots from over at this side. This game actually turns out pretty well. Now, their best tank, their best player, is the little goose there, tier 7, it's so I'm going to come up and I'm going to try to flank him later on in the game. Now, the great thing about the tank is, even if you're not in the perfect position on your first setup. It's so maneuverable, so terrain friendly, and it gets around the map so well that you're going to be able to move, get into different positions, and actually be able to help you and support your team. So as you can see in this case, I'm moving back around to see if I can support my team. So I'm just trying to put a few shots in. And I'm going to decide now to relocate again. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to try to flank the enemy. See if I can turn the game a bit more in our favour, because it is 1-all, or 6 tanks select each. So I'm going to move around the map and see what I can do with the other side. Now, you know, the tank has got a 5.2 second reload, which is fantastic, so it gives you a great rate of fire. And if you decide to use calibrated shells, you're going to get a lot of, you're going to improve your DPM, I think. Now I'm just following my own zombie rule here. I'm going to take out this AFK, lest they reanimate and come back, you know, and bite you in the arsehole like in The Walking Dead or something like that. So if you see an AFK, I always try to take him out. Because many times myself, I have been in the game, I have to reconnect, etc., and I come back. Sometimes you're dead, but if you're not dead and you come back and you're full health behind the enemy later on in the game, you can make a big difference. So take them out when you can. That's my rule anyway. Now, get into a good brawl here with this guy. I thought it was a nice brawl. I thought, you know, he knew what he was doing. I think he's a re-roll account actually, because I looked at the stats and, you know, he had like 400 games. I think he knew what he was doing. He backed up so I couldn't get in behind him. But then I just rocked back and forward, making it very difficult for him to get a shot on me. I switched up to heat as well, just so I didn't want to risk any bounces, because that gives me more time on target for him. So just rock back and forward, and you can see how maneuverable this tank is. It's just fucking great, isn't it? You know, I mean, it's just, I mean, if you could get this tank into bed, just imagine how much fun you'd have. Anyway, so that's him gone. By the way, you'll see later on, you know, I thought that was a fairly good brawl, and that, you know, I thought he was a decent player, and, you know, but he didn't see it that way at all. So you'll actually see later on, he is not happy camper at all. So I'm coming back around now here. So that game now was gone in our favour. So we're just going to see if we can get some more damage in. Noob that shot there a little bit in the KV-1S, but sure, what can you do? Sorry about that. What can you do, you know? But I'm going to go back around, and I have the speed and the manoeuvrability to get around in behind him, and then I get an extra kill on the KV-1S as well. And that's the beauty of this tank, isn't it? You can afford to make mistakes a bit in terms of your map position, because it allows you to just get around so easily. You know, I mean, it gets around like, you know, that smooth fella with the gel back hair does at a party, you know, talking to everybody. And that's this tank, you know. Get a shy shot here, and they get a nice kill there in the KV-1S. And I even have time then to go over and see if I can engage with the AT, because the tank is just so maneuverable and allows me to get around. Just when I was going down the hill there, I reversed. If you're an experienced player, you know to do that. If you're not an experienced player, do that so you don't damage your tracks. Or even maybe if you're on very low HP, kill yourself, as I've seen people do, and I think may have done myself. And I just give a nice headshot here to the AT at the end. That couplet there on the top is always vulnerable, so if you just put around into him, and that's probably the best head he's been given today. Certainly the best head I've given. So last kill for me as well, so I ended up with 4 kills. Pretty a very decent game, I think. And I just wanted to share this game with you, because I just bought a tank on this account. I haven't played many games on it, and you can see there over 3.2k damage, first class mastery. Probably wasn't that far away from getting the M, maybe another few hundred, or maybe another kill would have got it. But overall, very good game. Top was great brawl as well, I enjoyed it. The M6A2E1 was their best player, but then you see here now, he tells me, fuck you retard, which I kind of, yeah, there you go. By the way, if you do get insults like that, a great response is just reply, who are you? Just think about that. It makes them try to explain then who they are. Most of the time they won't get back to you, which he didn't. But if he used to say, oh, I'm the guy you killed, I mean, it's kind of humiliating, isn't it? So I always respond if somebody, not always, but sometimes most of the time I respond, who are you? Sort of puts them in the back foot and they don't really know what to say. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the Review Dragon. If you can afford it, get it. You definitely won't regret it. And the music there was Flight of the Valkyries by Richard Wagner, which I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe or follow, or don't. I honestly couldn't give a fuck. Alright, cheers now. Take it easy, boys.